Stuart, what are your thoughts on that one?
No, listen, it's miles from where we need to be in the first half in particular. Thought our reactions were horrendous to every situation, whether it be us in possession or us out of possession. I know I work with an honest group of players, but at times for me those instincts and reactions can make your body language look poor, which I'm mad on. And we didn't carry any threat whatsoever. I spoke about it to the players after the game there, that we find ourselves in a position where we've lost 4 goals the last 2 games. We've had a new goalkeeper in for the last 2 games, he's not saved the ball. So we have to take a responsibility for outfield players as to how that becomes a scenario. Listen, the players gave a reaction in the second half, still nowhere enough quality. We had the running of the game, we had possession of the ball, we had territorial advantage, but I didn't feel we'd done anywhere near enough with it to carve out opportunities and to start to grow in belief. As I say, that possession element of it, that territorial advantage, it doesn't get you into the next round of the cup. You need to show more. You need to show more in terms of how you start a game of football, and you need to show more when you find yourself in the thick of the battle and you're up against it because of how you've started the game. And unfortunately for us today, it simply wasn't good enough.
Those starts to games you've spoke about in previous weeks as well, what do you put the sort of slow starts down to at the minute?
It's a very difficult one to put your finger on because we all say the same thing. Let's start the game well. You know, we think as if we've reinvented the game and we've said something different. We try and make sure that players warm up properly. We try and make sure that we do our preparation, our work through the week. Areas where we can try and exploit with the ball to try and put the opposition in the back foot. But you have to execute that. That's just words. That's just all talking. That's just me giving you a spiel there. But that's how you do it. You affect it on the pitch by doing your job, by doing the things that have put us in a reasonable position in the league, which have taken us to the dying embers of the other cup competition. But if you don't do that against anybody, and include us maybe playing against low league opposition today, you know, playing against Championship sides, League One sides, if you don't do that against anybody, you're going to find the going tough. And that's exactly how it was for us today.
There was a real reaction from the fans at full time. Can you understand that, or does that disappoint you?
No, listen, I can't control. The only way you can control it is win the game, get into the next round of the cup. At times, you know, we've had a negative reaction. Well, we've won games. I think back to Aberdeen just a few weeks ago, and we still get a negative reaction at times with scenarios of the game when you find yourself 2-0 up. That's Scottish football. That's football in general. And I've just said to the players there, and I need to be clear about this, that what's went before and what you've done before, where you sit in the league, it doesn't matter. It's down to today. It comes down to today, making excuses about us having 9 players out, that you would make a case for them all maybe playing in our team. None of that matters. It is just excuses. How supporters react is going to be down to the score, sometimes the performance, and then that's ultimately how it goes as a football player. You either suck that up and you realise that that's what it is and you react positively to it, or you disappear and you go into your shell, and that's not going to work out well for anybody. And you know, as I say, I could try and sit here and make every excuse under the sun. We speak about being 16 points clear of St Johnstone, our direct opponent today. It didn't look like that on the face of the performance in the game, but you try to remind the players that there's a reason why you find yourself in the top half of the table. But as I say, I can't make that as an excuse because it's all about today, and that's always what it's going to be, and that starts to grow in Scottish football. There's more scrutiny, more people want to have a voice, more people want to tell you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, also what you're doing wrong. So ultimately that's where it comes to.
Back here next week, and it's important to get a positive reaction.
Of course it is. You know, I could sit here and talk about it till the cows come home, but I'm not telling my players to go out and play like that next week. We want to go and try and get a reaction. We want to try and make it better than it was today.
What about your booking, Stuart? Are you frustrated with the background behind that?
Yeah, are you referring to the one where it looks like quite clear to everybody in the stadium that the Motherwell players fouled, it goes the opposite direction, and then we bring the play at home? Yeah, but that seems to be the answer to everything just now. You're not allowed any emotion outside the pitch to question anything. You're not allowed to ask for a decision. You're not allowed to maybe wave your hands or something like that. You know, I think we're all supposed to be robots at the side. And
it just looked as if you'd, maybe, I don't know, a wee outburst, but just said something to the fourth official and get pulled up for it. It didn't seem too dramatic.
Yeah, the fourth official shouts at you and you shout back at the fourth official. You know, so if you start shouting at me just now, I'll start shouting back at you. But I don't think any of us are getting a yellow card, but that seems to be the answer to that type of scenario now. All right, cheers.
Thank you, Stuart.